years. I mean, we used to come out here just twice a year. Then it was 3 times a year. And now we're out here like every other month. So yeah, it's been getting real bad.
As new storms set up to cross the west, some people worry their neighborhoods can't handle much more rain and all the wind. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Frank Malakote. A new series of storms will start crossing the west over the weekend, and this time around, the storm activity will likely be on and off for a number of days. We see steps being taken tonight to get ready for the severe weather. California, which is still working to recover from all the damage caused by previous winter storms this year, is on track to getting hit the hardest.
It's just buckling everywhere. It's just buckling. It seems like every time we come out here, there's a new spot. It's the weather and unstable ground.
Construction crews hope the work they're doing in Southern California's Palos Verdes community today will help prevent new storm damage. Areas seeing steady movement of land soaked by rain. That's buckling roads and causing mudslides there.
We cringe because it takes weeks till we see the consequences of a rain event. We won't even know what is occurring as a result of the rain from 2 weeks ago. Something imminent is out there.
As much as 8 more inches of rain are expected to hit parts of Southern California by the middle of next week. And people in San Francisco Bay Area also expect to get a lot of rain for the next round of storms. KTVU's Jesse Gary continues our weather team coverage with a look at what's being done there to get ready.
Ominous clouds Friday, a precursor to a series of storms that are targeting the Bay Area.
The second storm will have more of a punch than the first storm. Stronger winds and heavier rain, not necessarily much more rain, it just will fall harder, faster, and maybe generate some local flooding concerns.
San Jose officials say crews have previously cleared debris from 35,000 catch basins that are spread throughout the city. They warn residents to brace for possible localized flooding.
We are going to get a good dose of rain, so we're keeping our eyes on the creek levels as well as the streets, looking out for flooding in either case.
Unhoused residents living along area waterways are especially vulnerable to rising water levels.
We want to make sure that community members who are living along rivers and creeks or any waterway, that they are taking the necessary precautions now, move away from these waterways.
Officials with Valley Water say crews are taking preemptive action to make sure debris doesn't make bad conditions worse.
Our crews are out there. They have been out there since the start of the storm season, just making sure there's no blockages in our creeks and making sure everything is clear so the creeks can flow as intended to reduce flooding.
Santa Clara County is opening all 7 of its warming centers this weekend to provide shelter for the unhoused. Additionally, officials say already saturated soil could produce more downed trees and power outages, even though winds aren't expected to be as fierce as the last storm.
This is completely normal for these storms.
Santa Cruz County officials say they'll meet with the National Weather Service to determine if they'll activate their Emergency Operations Center. And they say they plan to open their overnight warming centers from Sunday to Wednesday of next week. In downtown San Jose, Jesse Gary, KTVU Fox 2 News.
Lingering problems tied to recent storms are already complicating the holiday weekend travel. Today, Amtrak suspending service between Seattle and Portland. Rain-soaked land has collapsed, falling on track outside of Vancouver. Interrupted rail service leaves many travelers scrambling to make new plans tonight.
They said that some contingency plans are there, but they did not say what was the plan, so I had to call Amtrak. There will be something, but we don't know whether it will be a bus or a train from Seattle. We know that it will be a bus from Portland to Seattle.
It's special for us to have taken part of today off to be able to go on this trip, so it was important to us to stay the course and try to make it and enjoy the long weekend.
Amtrak hopes to restore all service by Sunday night. 4 landslides have impacted service between Portland and Seattle since last month. And a live look at current conditions on Highway 80 at Soda Springs near Donner Summit. If you are planning, head up to the Sierra Nevada over the weekend. Be sure to get your chains ready because they will be measuring the snow in feet by the time the storms have come and gone. Ski resorts are already plowing and grooming their trails for the expected surge of snowboarders and skiers for the very popular President's Day weekend. We spoke with Kevin Cooper, Director of Communications for Cali Pass Resorts, about what families can expect in the Greater Tahoe area.
We're going to have lake level snow. We're going to have the snowmobile operations, the cross country centers. You can go snowshoeing. It's not just about the resorts, it's about the whole Tahoe vibe.
And part of that vibe includes the World Pro Ski Tour, where professional skiers will face off. They will be going head-to-head at Bear Valley on their Bear Valley slopes there. And skiers are already seeing a lot of new snow in Salt Lake City. Video posted to social media shows how thick snow showers greeted people at Brighton Resort this morning. Warnings are out across northern Utah about considerable avalanche danger. They are ramping up. Let's bring in KTVU meteorologist now, Mark Tamayo, is tracking the next round of storms expected to cross through the west coast. Mark?
Hi there, Frank. Yeah, it's an active weather pattern developing out here in the Pacific. Multiple storms. The first one already producing some cloud cover over portions of California, moving into Oregon. And then I'm watching this guy, the circulation out here in the Pacific. You see a very robust jet stream, and that'll be the key factor as we head into Sunday and into Monday. So here's kind of the big forecast model here showing you from the entire west coast, from Seattle down toward Los Angeles. You can see those rain bands coming on board for the San Francisco Bay Area for tomorrow. Not too much for Southern California, but up toward Eureka, up into Oregon, the chance of some rainfall up in Seattle tomorrow. And then here's that Sunday deal, the main focus. In fact, it could be for a good portion in California, at least as we start things off on Sunday before the energy moves up to the north. And then Southern California eventually gets the rain into early next week by Monday. So all these areas in green, these are flood watches. And once the rain starts, you get enough rainfall, enough intensity, that could turn into a flood warning. So here's the satellite and the radar once again. We'll come in closer down in Southern California. Not too much happening. It's dry for Saturday, Sunday, but then those rain chances going up into Monday. And then up in the Pacific Northwest, if you can't see, up toward Portland, some clouds, some rain showers, and also near the Washington coastline as well. You can see the view up in Seattle today, some sunshine. You'd see lots of sunny reports throughout the day. Temperature of 53 degrees. In San Francisco, it was a dry day with lots of clouds overhead, the temperature of 59. And then down in Southern California for LAX, they had a temperature of 63 degrees. And they have the rain coming back in the forecast beginning on Monday. Take a look at the current numbers out there right now. Seattle is 45, San Francisco is 55. Las Vegas, of course, a very popular destination last week with the Super Bowl, but right now it's 59 degrees. And Phoenix checking in a mild 65. So here's the forecast for tomorrow. We're watching this next system, that next front come on board. Chance of a shower up in Seattle, rain and wind for San Francisco, and then we're going to hold on to the sunshine for Southern California, also out toward Arizona. In the Sierra, you heard about all the snow coming in. This was the scene earlier today. See all the clouds out there. A winter weather advisory begins 10 a.m. Sunday until 4 a.m. Sunday. 10 a.m. Saturday until 4 a.m. Sunday, but this will be the bigger deal, a winter storm warning. This begins Sunday afternoon right on through Wednesday morning, so that will definitely impact travel coming back if you are heading back from Lake Tahoe on a Monday. So here you can see the forecast model once again, bringing in the rainfall, measurable rainfall. It could be heavy at times over the next several days. So as you can see here, the 3-day breakdown, Seattle, those rain chances, there's a chance tomorrow, but those talking about some more rain into Sunday. San Francisco, storm one tomorrow. So then the next one comes on board Sunday, and it's dry in Los Angeles, as you can see, for Saturday, with the chance of some showers by Sunday, but we're talking a better bet as we head into Sunday night and into Monday. So the active weather stretch, it will continue over the next several days. Frank.
I guess, Mark, a wet weekend indeed. Thank you for that. An arrest warrant has been issued for a funeral homeowner after human remains were found at his former home in Denver. Investigators say they found a woman's remains at a home where 33-year-old Miles Hartford once lived before being evicted. Police say they recovered remains of at least 30 people who died between 2012 and 2021, including a body that was found inside a hearse. Denver police issued a warrant for abuse of a corpse, forgery, and theft.
Losing a loved one is hard enough, but when the loved one's remains are mishandled, it just adds to the grief and causes further unnecessary pain.
Urns were also found inside a U-Haul and in the home's crawl space. Police say Hartford previously owned Apollo Funeral and Cremation Services in Littleton, Colorado, which has been closed now since 2022. Gruesome discovery in Southern California as well. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reports dogs turned on their own owner, mauling him to death in his backyard.
Animal control removing dogs from a home off Thorson Avenue in Compton. From Fox 11, Images of the dog's owner dead inside one of the dog kennels in the backyard, where investigators found a lot of dogs.
In the backyard, there was numerous dogs, approximately 13 dogs, believed to be pit bulls.
All of them taken by LA County's Department of Animal Care and Control.
Our victim was in the backyard, apparently feeding them. It sounds like they attacked him, and ultimately he succumbed to his injuries.
He was mauled.
I have no words. I would see like two big ones, you know, at the edge of the fence, but I never saw that many dogs.
Muy agresivos.
They were aggressive, muy agresivos.
Yeah.
This neighbor saying a couple of the dogs got out and attacked his chickens. But investigators say that initially there don't seem to be any reports of the dogs attacking people until this.
Hi, can we talk to you? Is there anything?
Off the property.
No one at the house talking to reporters. Animal Services looking into whether any dog breeding licenses are attached to this location.
He was breeding them for a living, which is very, very sad.
They could have hurt one of us or one of these kids walking home from school. That is a horrible way to go.
And that was Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reporting. While investigators have not confirmed the man was breeding pit bulls, they say it appears likely, given the number of dogs and kennels in the backyard, that was the case. The identity of the man who died has not been disclosed, and LA County's animal control workers will determine whether any of the dogs now need to be euthanized. Coming up, a retail theft bust in the world of cosmetics, how a suspected international crime ring may be involved, and a dash cam capturing the moments of a head-on collision in Oregon. We're going to hear from the victims who say they've become like family now.
I remember his voice through the whole wreck, the whole time, like, we gotta get this going, we gotta get her out of the car, and like, he saved my life, like, straight up.
It's only up from here, love. I promise you.
Well, that is newly released video showing how two children suspected of carjacking a woman in Seattle were taken finally into custody. Police dash cam, body cam, and a camera mounted on top of a helicopter captured what happened on Monday night. Investigators say a 12-year-old boy and a 13-year-old boy were in a stolen vehicle that led police on a wild chase. The owner of the stolen vehicle says someone with a gun threatened her before she finally gave up the car. Driver of that stolen car eventually stopped during the chase. Then two people got out of that car and started to run. Police officers caught up with both suspects shortly thereafter. Both children have been booked with robbery and unlawful possession of a firearm. 13-year-old was additionally charged with attempting to elude a police vehicle. An organized retail theft group is suspected of stealing $12,000 worth of cosmetics in Washington state. On February the 1st, officers responded to a reported theft at a business along Alderwood Mall Parkway in Linwood, just north of Seattle. They arrested two suspects and discovered a large cache of stolen makeup. One of the suspects was booked into jail. The other was a minor who was released to their legal guardian. Police believe they are tied to a traveling Romanian crime ring.
Those folks were kind of like flipping the product, so reselling across state lines for basically pennies on the dollar.
Investigators say they have linked the two suspects to a previous theft back in January. The American Civil Liberties Union of Nevada is filing a lawsuit against Clark County's ordinance that makes it illegal for people to stop or stand in designated pedestrian flow zones. This targets a 20-foot radius around escalators and elevators leading to bridges. ACLU claims people with disabilities could be possibly charged with misdemeanors under the ordinance. They also argue the law is unconstitutionally vague and opens the door for selective and discriminatory enforcement. Well, that is a scary crash. It was caught on camera in Oregon, creating a bond between the two strangers that never expected to meet. Fox 12's Pete Perryman shows us how they become as close as family since that day back in October of last year.
Mike Fong has seen it all over the years, but he never saw it coming. On that rainy October morning, the part-time Uber driver was confronted with a life and death situation. But it wasn't the first time. As fate would have it, this Uber driver is a veteran combat medic who served multiple tours in Iraq. And despite recovering from a broken arm himself, his instincts and training kicked in immediately.
For a split second in my head, I was thinking, where are you, man? What is going on? What is, it's...
Are you in a combat situation?
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, man, what the hell? You're right back in it, And for a split second. And after that, I kind of snapped out of it, realized, all right, man, it's go time. It's time to rock and roll.
The impact set both cars on fire. The driver of the BMW escaping on his own with relatively minor injuries. But the driver of the oncoming Subaru was trapped.
So I run towards the vehicles, the two burning vehicles, and both her front doors were damaged where I couldn't open them. And the whole time, she was screaming in pain, she was yelling in pain, and I kept telling her, it's okay, honey, I know, but we gotta get out of here. Both cars were on fire. I mean, we're looking at it, it's right there. I can feel the flames, and she's screaming, and I'm, trying to comfort her. It's okay, honey, I know, but we got to get out of here.
He and others were able to pull the driver to safety away from the burning wreckage. The Clackamas County Sheriff rules the crash an accident, saying the slick conditions led to the Subaru losing control and bouncing off the guardrail. The driver of that Subaru, Holly Morris, was rushed here to OHSU with critical injuries. She faced the prospect of spending months in the hospital, much of it alone. But Mike Fong would not let that happen.
So I'm here with Holly.
When he heard about Holly's situation, Mike headed straight to the hospital.
I remember his voice through the whole wreck, the whole time, like, we gotta get this going, we gotta get her out of the car, and like, he saved my life, like, straight up. And I'm so appreciative of him, and I'm so thankful. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, love. You're welcome, love. It's only up from here, love. I promise you. It's only up from here, all right? I'll keep checking up on you, too.
And he did, enlisting his family to make regular visits, celebrating Holly's birthday, and including her in the family's holiday celebrations.
But you have a lot of oranges.
You're sneaking peek.
Now, nearly 4 months later, Auntie Holly is considered a family member, the remarkable result of a painful crash and that first hospital visit.
When he came to the hospital the first time, I was like, oh, I know exactly who you are. I just his voice. I was like, oh. I was so happy to see him. I was like, I didn't expect him to come, up there. I'm so glad he did, though.
Can you walk me through what you remember about the wreck?
It was just really scary, and I felt like I was dying. And then Mike came out of nowhere. He literally calmed me down enough to make me recline the seat and unlock the back door, and luckily that door opened and he was able to pull me out.
As she recovers with the support of her Oregon family, Holly is moving forward with immense gratitude, a lesson instilled by the man she calls her guardian angel.
He didn't think twice about saving my life, and I don't know what I would have done if he wasn't there. I probably would have died. But I'm very thankful for him.
A lot of human kindness there. Way to go, Mike. My goodness, what a story. Holly Morris, by the way, is recovering, progressing slowly but steadily. She underwent multiple surgeries for broken bones and internal injuries. Mike has been recognized for his heroic action. The Lake Oswego Fire Department up in Oregon recently honored him with a Community Service Award, and boy, he deserved it. Coming up next, vandals put on notice in Southern California. Coming up, what's being done to keep them out of a collection of buildings that's become known for the vandals' work. Also ahead, only 2 states have eliminated daylight savings time here in the U.S., both West Coast states. We'll break down how another state here in the West is lining up to be number 3. A complex of vandalized high-rise buildings has turned into somewhat of a tourist attraction in LA. City leaders hope work that started today will help put an end to that. Crews are now removing scaffolding some people think help trespassers actually enter into the property. Fox 11's Hal Eisner takes us inside the structure that's become not only a destination for vandals, but people pulling off dangerous stunts on social media.
We're at Channel 11. Any thoughts about what's going on inside there? Brian O'Hara and Dylan Kavanaugh work for a fencing company making bids to raise the fence around Oceanwide Plaza to keep taggers out. First step,
pick out the type of fence you need to make sure they're not climbing up the fence and their hands can't get in the fence.
Yeah.
Trying to keep them out.
That could be expensive though, right?
Could be expensive, yes.
From the first floor to the top, this is the 17th floor, representatives from city departments and private companies showed up as the clock is ticking on the Chinese developer to step up and do what needs to be done. What time does the company have until Saturday?
Close of business day.
The close of business Saturday. City Councilman Kevin DeLeon says that's the deadline for the Chinese corporation to do what needs to be done, or the city will move in and do it. Part of that process is what happened with the walkthrough, taking measurements, sizing things up.
That's the whole point, is making an assessment, figuring out where we have to better shore up, abatement, fencing.
We're in the works right now of securing the property and trying to clean it to sell it.
But first, there's a mountain of work as tall as the 3 Oceanwide Plaza towers before that can happen. And while walking through the building,
there's weeds growing in between certain areas. There's spray paint cans everywhere on the ground. There's fire extinguishers that are everywhere on the ground. They just broke it out and threw the fire extinguisher down to the ground.
The whole project disappoints LA Police Sergeant Gordon Helper, who remembers when this property was just a parking lot.
Everybody in downtown had high hopes for this property.
Helper says the plan was for this, with its mall, restaurants, luxury apartments, and even a hotel, to join Crypto Arena, then Staples Center, and LA Live.
It was going to be an entertainment capital of the world.
So the clock is ticking, and city officials say they're getting ready. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Hal Eisner, Fox 11 News.
A dead fin whale is decomposing on an Oregon beach after washing ashore this week. This is at Clatsop County near the Washington border. Experts still aren't sure what killed the massive mammal. Officials from the Seaside Aquarium say it may be weeks before a necropsy result comes back. They also say this is only the second dead fin whale that the state has seen in some 30 years. Another West Coast state is on track to try to get rid of daylight savings time. A state Senate committee has approved a bill to keep Oregon on standard time all year long. Oregon's full Senate and House still needs to vote on the bill. Concept of daylight savings time was created around 1916. It was meant to provide more sunlight while people were active outside and help people save on fuel. Critics say the switch between daylight time and standard time disrupts sleep patterns. If the bill passes, Oregon would become the third state after Arizona and Hawaii to not observe daylight saving time. And that is a wrap here on West Coast Wrap. I'm Frank Malicote. I hope you folks have a good night. Have a great weekend as well. Take care.